Hello everybody, Steelfist Gaming here. This is going to be a pretty serious video about Epic Games and a bad decision they made lately. But before I get into it, here's my P.O. box if you want to send me any fan mail. As of late March 2026, Epic Games, for money reasons, has fired 1,000 people. Imagine, if you will, holding 100 grains of rice in your hand. That's probably a big handful. And now multiply that by 10. That's probably enough to feed like 5 or 7 people. That's a big meal. And each little grain of rice is one person that they fired. All because they couldn't manage their money carefully enough. You know, I think that this is pretty bad. It's pretty bad when things have gotten to this point where Epic Games, they'll have these huge deals, they'll make all this money, and yet they will fire 1,000 people because they're having a hard time for a little bit. So, here's some details. Not only did they fire 1,000 people, they also cut $500 million in the budget. I mean, here's the thing. Fortnite, it's a good game. So they can just keep it the same and it'd be pretty good. But, I doubt it costs $500 million to keep servers up. Maybe half that for a game this size. So, Epic Games is really going all out on the marketing, even through hard times, and that's costing them. They're saying that this is and I read the official notice on the Epic Games website, and they said it was because of a, quote, downturn in engagement. Really? You're telling me when you ignore the entire player base and, you know, the whole entire Fortnite economy is based off of skins, you don't put in Minecraft, you don't put in Sonic the Hedgehog, see? Sonic? You don't put those in. You don't put Five Nights at Freddy Fazbear in. You don't do any crossovers that people actually want. And they're surprised when there's a downturn in engagement. They take out the good stuff in the game that people like. Like, I don't know. They pretty much, you know, there's a list a mile long of complaints. Good complaints that people have about Fortnite that Epic Games has been totally ignoring for years. And they're surprised that there's a downturn in engagement. I'm not surprised at all. Some examples. Oh, Epic has been reintroducing a lot of classic skins and completely destroying the value, like Renegade Raider. That was a while ago, but still. They've been getting rid of game mechanics like the double pump, where you can pull out 2 shotguns and shoot them both. And they've been... what else have they been doing? They've been introducing a bunch of game mechanics that people don't like. For example, that mech a while back. And everybody has huge backlash against it. And they add weapons that are overpowered. They take away good game mechanics like the vehicle upgrades, and they're surprised when they take away features that people like and put in features people don't like. They're surprised that the engagement goes down. Now, let's talk game modes. When Fortnite first started out, they were just a battle royale where people would spawn into a map and they would there would be about 100 people, maybe less, maybe more. And then they would all fight until the fighting's done and there's only one person left. That was it. Good game. Simple, and it made sense. Fortnite has branched out way too much. Like a big tree that needs to be pruned. And I'm talking about Fortnite Creative. Now, I like Fortnite Creative. It's pretty fun. But Fortnite spent, they paid out $352 million to Fortnite creators. Now, I think these people should be paid because they make games, but $352 million? I mean, seriously. I crunched the numbers, I did the math, and that's enough. The 1,000 people were fired to pay them 100 grand a year for 3.5 years. You're telling me you couldn't have not done the creative stuff and then you have another 3.5 years to figure it out? Epic. I mean, seriously, it's absolutely insane. These people, they don't know how to run their own game. And it's pretty sad. Because there are lots of other things that could have done, like Minecraft crossovers, but they do a bunch of crossovers with the same celebrities over again. I think there's like 3 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson skins, probably like 5 Keanu Reeves skins, and no Minecraft. It's completely insane. There's also no Sonic, which is pretty disappointing. There's no Freddy Fazbear. But I don't have a Freddy Fazbear to throw at the camera, so I can't talk about that one right now. Now, Lego Fortnite. Lego Fortnite got $2 billion worth of investment into it. Imagine how much money Epic Games put towards this thing for $2 billion. Who knows how much of it they spent, but nobody plays Lego Fortnite. I'm just gonna be honest. Nobody plays Lego Fortnite because there's a zillion other Lego games, and Lego Fortnite, it isn't even that unique. I mean, it isn't a battle royale. If it was a battle royale, I'd try it, but it's just any other Lego game but run by Fortnite. And they spent $2 billion on it. Wow. And there's 2 other modes that I'd like to talk about. Rocket Racing and Fortnite Festival. So it's probably like 4 of them all together. Where Rocket Racing, it's just a driving game. It isn't even a good driving game. It's worse than Mario Kart. Where you just drive in a car over the same 3 or 4 tracks and that's it. It's like every other video game. Now, there wasn't any investment into this one by other companies, so you can't tell how much it was. But I can't imagine it was cheap, the way Epic Games runs things. And Fortnite Festival. Fortnite Festival! I mean, seriously, Fortnite Festival. I can't believe it, but Fortnite Festival it's just Guitar Hero. That's all it is. It's just Guitar Hero. Now, I can't imagine. There are hundreds of songs in Fortnite Festival, including the jam tracks. So, in each one of those songs, how much royalties do they pay the artists for that? It can't be cheap. So, they probably have to... Okay, you guys, they probably have to spend so much money on those. Probably millions every week on Fortnite Festival. Even though Guitar Hero already exists. And it's a better version of it because you have your own controller you can plug in. But this is just keyboard and mouse Guitar Hero ripoff. Now, Epic, here's my advice for you. I think that Epic Games, you need to focus more on just Battle Royale. Because that's what people play. You can still have creative and whatnot, but Epic Games, let me tell you this. This won't be easy for you to hear, but I have to say it. Fortnite Creative is just a ripoff of Roblox. Yeah. They spent $352 million on it. Epic, let me tell you about the greedy caterpillar story. There's a story once upon a time where a caterpillar ate so much that it eventually ate itself. And that's what Epic Games is doing, just like Nintendo. Where they want to do so much rather than focusing on what they're good at, that eventually they'll spread out too far, like chocolate pudding spread out over too much ham, and they won't have enough to support themselves and they'll collapse because they're trying to do a zillion things at once. When people want to play for only one or two things. Creative and Battle Royale. So please, Fortnite, listen to me. I still believe in you. Fortnite, I remember playing you growing up. A great video game. We must not let that be ruined. Not by any means. Because it's a good game. And I don't think that we should let it go to waste. So I'd like to call on every gamer and every YouTuber and everyone who plays Fortnite to share this video to Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic Games, in order to hear him to take my advice, because I don't know much about running a company. I have a company, but it's a very small movie studio that's made a grand total of less than $4. So I have a little bit ways to go. I'm also releasing my new movie soon, Lettucehead, on April 1st on YouTube. Link in the description. So it's gonna be a good one. But I think once you're in the throne room for so long, it can blind you. And you don't even know what the peasants want anymore. You just know what you want. And it can be easy to be tempted to want to do everything. Where you want your game to be a Swiss Army knife that can do this, it can do that, it can do everything else. But Epic Games started out as one thing, and if you try and branch out into stuff that it isn't, then it's ultimately not going to be all that great for the video game in the long run. So I hope that someone out there listens to this, because this is pretty much just me asking you, Fortnite, Epic Games, to be more careful with your video game, because you had a great thing going. Don't throw it away. Order in the court. So, let's see if this is clear enough. Epic, you can hire back those 1,000 people, and even more, if you're just more careful and you listen to the player base. Because engagement will not drop if you keep listening to what the players do. Go more on social media and do more in-game polls, and listen to us. Ask us, what collabs do you want to see? What game modes do you want? What game mechanics do you like? What game mechanics do you not like? And then do what the people want. Don't do what you want, because you aren't the one giving yourself the money. If you bought your own V-Bucks, you'd just be transferring one made-up currency to another. But it's the people who play your game who buy the V-Bucks. So they're the people you ought to listen to. Because you can have so many different people in suits and ties, executives and CEOs and whatnot, But the only true person who really knows what's good for Epic Games is the gamer. You, me, anyone who's on the other side of an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Nintendo Switch, computer, mobile, although no one plays Fortnite mobile. They're the people who know what's good for Epic Games. Because they're the ones who actually play the game. So please, listen to my advice. Steelfist Gaming, signing out. I'm a puppet, I don't know why I'm a puppet, but I am. Hi, I'm Steelfist Gaming Puppet, and Steelfist Gaming really put it well. The players are the ones who make the choices, because they're the ones who play the game. And if you don't appeal to your players, and you just appeal to 5 or 10 people who are in charge of the company, then how on earth are you going to make money and appease the fan base when you don't even listen to them in the first place? So, Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic Games, I really think that you should listen to what Steelfist Gaming is saying, because he's right. I think that you need to listen to what the people have to say. And you'll increase engagement so much, you can hire back the 1,000 people you just fired for no reason other than the company's mismanagement of generating funds. I mean, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is in the video game 5 times over. It gets old. Put Freddy Fazbear in there. Put Minecraft Steve in there. Put Sonic the Hedgehog in there. Not the same guy we've seen 20 times. I mean, there's so many repeats where it's just the same thing over and over again. If you make more creative skins, then more people are going to buy them. If you keep good game mechanics in, more people are going to play. So please, listen.
Listen. You must listen to us, because we are serious. We can save Epic Games from this disastrous financial crisis. But we have to work together and tell Epic Games what's what. We have to let them know that they should listen to us.
Well, that's all I have to say. See ya.